welcome back to the Car Throttle podcast, where Ethan, Jack and I read out your emails, act as your automotive agony uncles, and discuss unpopular opinions.
Yes.
Yeah? Mike, you're looking at me thinking he's a hot boy.
I was just about to throw my knickers at you. That was amazing.
Anyway, as everyone can see and hear, we are joined by King of the Car Deal, Mr. Mike Brewer. Great to have you on. What have you been up to and how are you feeling?
Hold out your hand.
Oh, we can't do that yet.
No, you can't.
Wait till I can hold out your hand.
Hold out your hand. Well, other than the fact I've been trying to avoid people wherever I go because of your hold out your hand, I get people driving past in their Saxos shouting it out the window.
Yes, boys.
Constantly. I've been really busy, actually. I've moved back from America. So that was the big move since I've last seen you. I went back and made Wheeler Dealers, finished that series off. And then there was this whole month of packing up the house, packing up my little car collection I've got out there, sticking it all in a container, watching it leave the docks. Fingers crossed, hopefully it arrive here very soon and we get to play with my other cars. Then
It's still in transit.
Yes, it's actually, I just got an email from them. They've delayed it a month.
Because they've lost the cargo.
They've not lost the cargo. I said, well, thank God it's not perishable goods because they said the ship's left. I watched the ship go on when I was there, but it's just circling around, waiting to dock. Yeah, because they COVID, and that's the excuse for everything these days, isn't it? Can't turn up for work. Why COVID?
He's just lost, isn't he?
Yeah, it is lost. It's out there somewhere. It better not be lost. No, don't say that. There's some really important stuff in that container. Some really important stuff.
What have we got in there?
82 SC that I've GT'd, hot rodded, really cool car. Most people have seen that online and may have followed the story of me hot rodding that. So very excited by that. And just before I left, when I say just before, the container was already loaded and I had to stop the container to throw another car into it because I found in Oregon a 1975 slant nose or flat nose Targa wide body 911.
Oh,
yes.
Ethan, that's getting your juices flowing, isn't it?
Yes. Do you know what I just said?
You've got a Porsche.
But it's a slant nose, right?
It's not curvy.
It's not curvy. It's flat at the front.
Yeah.
It's got pop-up headlights.
That's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Steel front wings, which are good.
What
not
colour?
It's actually graphite grey metallic. I'll pull up a picture and show you. It's amazing. It's an amazing car.
Actually, we'll put it in the podcast below.
Yeah, there you go. And it's a proper thing. So I managed to buy that. I got my friend to drive it all the way down from Oregon overnight. He dropped it at my doorstep. Michelle made him a tray of buns or something to go back with bread pudding. And he drove back. He drove 13 hours there, dropped the car off, and drove back that night. And I'm like, "Are you sure? Stay the night. Stay the night."
Have you got some real dirt on him? You can really ruin
he just said,
his career.
I'll do it. I'll drive it down and drive back. But I thought it was going
I
to
assume
stay.
he drove back in something different. He didn't just drive back in it.
No, yeah, exactly. So I'll find a picture of it, and it's a very cool car, and we can show it up online, and I can send you it.
Amazing. While Mike looks for that picture, I just wanted to say to everyone watching and listening, thank you very much again for your feedback. You've got no idea how much we appreciate your love and how humbled we are that our weekly podcasts have been so well received and reviewed. We're 4.9 out of 5 on on the Spotify and Apple.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Oh, there's the car.
Yes.
That's lovely.
That's what we call
that
a
is
slant
nice.
nose 911.
That's a nice colour.
Lovely colour.
Would you rather have that or the Z3, Heath?
Right now,
Yeah, right now.
that looks a bit more like it might be drier inside. So I would go for that.
Fair play. Right, before we read out your stories and things that grind your gears, what have we all been up to recently? And Ethan, let's get started with you because we're going to bring it back to BMW.
Yeah, well, we did some work on the Z3
Right here.
right here. Not everything went to plan.
No. Fill Mike in quickly.
Don't worry. I watched every minute of it. The broken bolts was a moment where I had a little weep.
So Mike Brewer from Wheeler Dealers actually watches
I watch every single one
I
of
think
your
it was just after
films.
you left. It was probably like 10 minutes after you
Yeah,
left
no,
that
it
happened.
was. I popped in. I had this amazing, proud moment watching you because you have to think about it. It's like a time capsule, right? I left here 4.5 months ago, and when I left here, you were Mr. Honda Jazz Man. like literally Honda Jazz man. That's what you were. And I left it, and you knew very little about anything other than, stuff that you're interested in. Comics and jazz mags,
Jazz mag.
right?
No,
That's
Jazz Weekly.
right. That's why you got Honda Jazz. We all know that's why. We know that's why you got Honda Jazz, because it's a good way to carry your jazz mags. But then I went away, and my first experience of coming back here into the Car Throttle workshop with you boys, I walked in to see you on the spanners.
Unbelievable.
And it was like, what the happened?
No.
It was an amazing moment. But yeah, the bolt snapped.
Yeah, it was a shocker. We've blamed Gareth for it.
He's
not
not
your
here,
fault.
so
It is Gareth's fault.
Yeah, it was all Gareth's fault.
Yeah.
Is that more snap?
Poor instruction, but probably made for a better video.
Absolutely, yeah. Anyway, tell the lovely ladies and gentlemen what's happened to your car. What parts are you getting? Because this is exciting.
So I've now got IBAC lowering springs,
Yes.
not coilovers, and EBC yellow stuff,
Yes.
brake pads,
and
EBC discs,
which are
grooved.
yes.
Nice.
Have I done it?
Yes,
you did it.
And what's in the post
An exhaust
from
Cobra.
Cobra?
Oh yes, I got a Cobra exhaust.
Yeah, you
coming.
do have a Cobra back boss. That is going to be sweet. So we're still looking for some wheels. We think we have some wheels. Just need to get some adapter plates, and then you can whip those on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but if I still am looking for wheels, so we're not set on those ones.
Yes.
Keep sending your wheels.
Just assume we're always looking for wheels. Send them in.
And assume that we want them to be free.
Yeah.
What is it? 7 by 120?
Nearly.
No, 5 by 120.
Very good.
Yeah,
There we go.
Very good.
I'm so impressed. You said tons of stuff there that was like your brain's never actually ordered those words in that way ever before in your life. But
was like a
it's all happening. We're watching the creation of a car guy in front of us. It's really weird.
Mike is so
Perfect.
excited that if he actually gets up now, he's going to be fired from his job.
It is kind of strange because you're either born a car guy or you grow into one. And it's very rare that you watch physically somebody just become one, and it's happening to you.
Yeah, I know, it is.
You're just becoming a car guy.
everyone
and
hates
the
me.
one thing is, you went from a Honda Jazz to a Z3, then you found out the Z3 wasn't enough. So you've started to make the Z3 more Z3.
Yeah.
And this is what happens, because then you'll go, now the Z3 isn't enough. Now I want an M3 and I want something else free.
Yeah.
And it just
It's like a disease.
It's like a disease. And
Really
that's what happens.
expensive disease.
Look around you at my crap that's in this workshop.
Can I pick
Yes.
one?
because that's what happens. You have one and you don't want more.
Yeah.
You just want more.
It's a slippery slope.
This is your future.
God, everything you see is
What's your other half's name?
Gina.
Gina, yeah. So just lie, cheat to Gina. Whenever Gina comes home with that travel brochure and goes, "Oh, look, Marbella looks nice this time." You go, "Absolutely not. No, it's COVID. Really big. It's COVID's the excuse now.
yeah.
No, Gina, we're not doing that. We're buying an M3 instead.
God, M3. That's
E46 M3.
Yes,
That's where the
yes.
smart money is.
Imagine me with an M3.
The day
can't,
that
I
happens
can't.
is the day I
Can't do
quit. It's the day I quit life.
There's the,
Give me the money.
Me and Ant bought an M3 Auto, the SMG gearbox version, and we converted it to a manual, and therefore increased its value by about 30%, made it a much more drivable car.
How long did that take to do it?
It took about 2 days in the workshop, but you have to just send the bellhousing out for one little bit of machining. But it's well doable. I mean, well doable. And there'd be people in the UK that could do it. Make a brilliant Car Throttle story, especially, dare I say, if it was you. If it was you doing it, it'd be brilliant.
2 years, not 2 days.
See, not a lot of people know under that SMG gearbox is a full manual gearbox. And when you press that lever on the steering wheel, it actuates a pump that actuates a lever that pushes the clutch in, changes the gear, takes the clutch back out. It's full of nonsense underneath. But you can take all that off, and there is a full-on 6-speed manual gearbox.
Something to think about, Ethan.
Getting ideas.
Just gone from lowering springs to a manual
M3.
swap.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, we've
So,
jumped to a car and a
it's like
manual swap.
it's
Different
nuts
car.
and bolts. That's all it is. Nuts and bolts, clasps and fasteners. That's all
Well,
it
nuts and bolts appear to be my kryptonite at the moment.
No, Gareth's your kryptonite.
Right, let's move on. Jack, what have you been up to?
This is at danger of turning into a grind my gears.
Oh.
Because I had to go and find a car for a challenge video. I won't say what it is yet. But
Filming next month.
Filming it-
Filming in December.
Yeah.
Which is this month
It's very exciting.
when this podcast goes out.
But
Yeah.
I found these two cars. Well, it's one car, two different ads. They're in local areas, so I thought I'll be able to go see them both. The first one was just like a standard ad, runs, drives, lovely, it's fine, no issues, blah, blah, blah.
You can actually say what car it is.
It was a Hyundai Coupe.
Great car.
I thought it'd be fun to get
Good car.
one because Alex always bangs on about them. And if I got one,
That would really piss
that would
me off.
piss you off, wouldn't it? Yeah. So that was my thinking. So I went to go and see this car, and as soon as I saw it, it was just a dog, the worst dog. But in the pictures, this is the annoying thing. In the pictures, he was very selective over what angles he took of this car.
Was he a dealer?
He was very good at it. Yeah. Very good at it. And when I got there, he came out and said hello to me. He was like, "Oh, I'll just go get the keys for it." And it was so rough. I just went to him, "Mate, don't bother. I'm just going to go like straight away." It took me about 4 seconds to decide that this car was a piece of shit.
You just left?
Yeah, I just left. Yeah, the whole roof was rotten and like it'd been bashed in on every panel and stuff. But like you couldn't see that from any of the pictures. And anyway, it struck again on the second car. And this was ad was saying, yeah, runs, drives perfect. It's all lovely, no issues. And one of the good points was power steering. And when I turned up there, the car actually looked pretty decent. But as soon as I jumped in and tried to drive it, the power steering was intermittent and like was fighting me around corners. I was like, this is on the top of your good list. How much worse is this going to get? And that's when I heard this chronic engine knock. Chronic. And I've not got a lot of experience with engine knock, but I knew straight away that's engine knock.
Sounds like a power steering pump could have failed.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. So when I was turning on the steering wheel, you could see that the bearing had gone in it. So it wasn't turning in the power steering. But at a certain revs, it was running okay. I mean, if you can manage it. But the knock did come into it, and you could hear it like down low. It was really, really.
That's not going to be very good for a video, is it?
No.
And was this guy advertising it again as mint condition and a good one?
It had apparently no issues.
See, that's terrible.
It's
isn't it?
really
It is
bad.
Was he a
really
dealer?
bad.
Was he a dealer?
He wasn't a dealer.
He was a private guy.
To be fair to the guy, he was a really nice guy, and I don't think he was that clued up about cars or what he had or what was going on with it. He might not have been as aware of the issues as he was making out to be. And the brakes were shocking as well. It's just,
I'm glad you walked away. I went and see a Mercedes 190 many years ago. The guy on the phone said it's absolutely immaculate, and it was fully loaded because it was just a descriptive in Loot magazine, free mag.
Oh, Loot.
Loot.
I remember that.
He said
Do you
it's
know Loot?
immaculate.
I don't know.
Do you know Loot?
Should I know this?
I used to go through it. Yeah.
You're excited.
It was great. wasn't it? The free ads.
I've not heard that name for probably 2 decades.
It was brilliant. Loot newspaper come out every day. Everything was free in it. Free to advertise and free to buy the paper. Anyway, I phoned a guy and he said, yeah, immaculate, fully loaded. It's got every single conceivable extra. I get to his house in Tooting, knock on the door. As I approach the door, there's a Mercedes 190 and I'm thinking, that can't be the one. It's got no sunroof, keep fit windows, and it hasn't got alloy wheels, it's got hubcaps. And I said to him, I knocked on the door, he came at the door. I said, this isn't the car, is it? He went, yes, it is. I said, well, it can't be because you said it's fully loaded. He went, well, it is fully loaded. It's got a beaded seat cover. It's got mud flaps, got carpet mats. I went, you've just wait. He went, it's got the tissue box on the rear. And I said, you've just wasted my time. God almighty, but I'm here, so I might as well have a look. So I said, it was parked hard against the wall. So I said, would you mind getting the key and we pull it away from the wall? And he went, nah, I don't want to do that because it takes me ages to park it there. What? I said, give me the key. I want to pull it away from the wall. I pulled it away from the wall and there's one side of it's like somebody had gone down it with a pitchfork, right? It's stoved in on one side. And I stood there and I went, I can't believe it. You said this car was immaculate. And he said, but it was immaculate before the accident.
Why did he say
I genuinely made him give me £20 for fuel.
really
Yeah,
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, you got to pay me my fuel money.
Yeah. For
No,
sure.
he said. I said, you are. I'm not leaving. You've cheated me.
Otherwise, you'll have another scratch down the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. Sorry.
That's all right. No, it's a good story.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's so annoying, like you say. Just like do yourself a favour, stop wasting everyone's time.
Yeah,
here.
just be honest. Be honest.
Well, I've got a story about something that I've been up to, about
Okay.
wasting time, about buying cars, but in a very different manner. So you went to look at a car. It was a shocker. You walked away. For this same video, I've been looking at another car, and I actually phoned Mike yesterday, and
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you say phoned me, you just it was the most expletive phone call I've ever received in my life. It was just a tirade of beep, 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 beep,
I actually
beep,
got
beep,
off the phone call. I was like, I hope I wasn't on loudspeaker. I hope Mike wasn't busy.
Oh, I was on loudspeaker.
I hope he wasn't with his family.
No, I was
literally went off on one.
my great granddad and great nan. They were in a care home, and I was going around to visit them, and they had
Did that wake him back up?
all their elderly friends around them as well. Everyone had just played bridge, and it was a really nice evening they was having.
And then I ruined it. Excellent. Anyway, my evening was disgusting. Okay, we did a shoot yesterday. I got back, phoned up this lovely lady, and I said, I want to come and have a look at the car. She was like, oh, okay. Can I have the address? She's like, okay, I'll send you a link. It's like, no, just send me the address. So she sent the address, and then I had to get straight back in the car, drive to Richmond, half an hour. I get to a co-op, which is where she said she'd be, where the car would be. The car's not there, is it? So I park in the co-op, she's there with her bags, and then we walk for 5 minutes to the car. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, still want this car, but why the have you made me drive to co-op when I could have parked behind the car? So have a quick look around it, ask if I can go for a drive. No, not allowed, because probably not insured, am I? Even though I am insured. Fair play, it's her car. I say, yeah, would you mind, speeding up a little bit? We get to 20 miles an hour. That's my lot. We also went through a 20 mile an hour speed camera. She was like, oh, better be careful here. And I shit you not, she slowed down to 5 miles an hour. Have you ever done 5 miles an hour in a car on an empty road?
Let's say like 20 minutes just to get past the camera, right?
Yeah, it was absolutely...
All I'm hearing though is that it's the most carefully driven little car ever.
Yeah,
I'm hearing really
that's a
good
good
stuff about
point.
this car.
Yeah, but also in the advert, the number plate was blocked. So I couldn't do the MOT check. So we pulled back in. I had a quick check and I was like, oh, coolant leak. She's like, yeah. That's nothing to worry about. I was like, well, no, coolant leak is probably quite a big thing to worry about. But all the tyres were fine. Everything looked okay. The sill had been done as well because Pumas, KAs, all that kind of stuff, the sill rot really gets them. So I had a little look. Everything's good. I did the Ethan Smell milk test.
All good?
Yeah. All good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Brake's completely rusted because it's not been used, but it was on like 90,000 miles or so. Absolute peach if it's in working condition. I was there, I was like, all right, I like it. It's up for 600 quid. I go in there, I want to get a deal done. I've got Mike Brewer in my head. I'm like, 500 quid. Out of your hand! She's like, well, it's not quite what I was after. And plus I've got a man from Plymouth who's come and he came and he saw the car and then he wanted me to drive it back to Plymouth for him. And I was like, doesn't really sound like that happened, is it? And she was like, yeah, I've got other people coming. And bearing in mind, this car has been for sale for 42 days. 42 days on Gumtree. So she's struggling to sell it. So I was like, all right, what are you going to be happy with? She was like, well, it would have to be a bit more. I was like, okay, 550, out at your hand. She was like, well, I've been offered 550 from another man who came to see it and he's thinking about it. And I'm thinking, it's a £500 car. You don't think about it. You don't go away and think about it. You just buy it. And I was like, look, okay, final offer, 565. I'll transfer it to you. No, can't do a transfer. No online banking. So I can prove that it's in your account. No. Anyway, 565 is what she's after. And then I say, can we do a deal? Because this is like 20 minutes later. She's like, I have to speak to my husband about it. I'm like, no! So we discuss everything. And I'm like, do you think your husband's going to mind about losing £35 on a £600 car? She's like, well, I don't know. He gets off work at 10. And at this point, I was like, I'm just walking away. Started walking, and then she walked with me. And I was like, I still want the car, so I'll entertain her. And then I just basically said, look, please, just send me a message tonight once you've spoken to your husband. I was in bed, 11 p.m. She gave me a text and said, you can have it. I was like, oh my God.
At last.
But that is the most convoluted, difficult, disgusting car deal I've ever done. And I was telling you before, I've bought and sold cars from real scummy people that I never want to see again. But that was far easier than dealing with this lady. God. I have never, ever in my life dealt with a lady that ums and ahs so much and is just so unsure about life.
And you got to go through it all again because you still got to pick the car up.
I've got to pick the car up.
Yes,
I've got to get the cash out. And
she's done you. She's done you 65 quid.
Yeah.
Imagine she changes
She's
her
good.
mind. Yeah, she's very good.
She's bloody impressive. I like her.
She probably will change her mind again. Yeah. Do you know what? If it all does happen though, I'm just going to wheel spin, burn out away from her.
Yeah, just hold the handbrake up. Hold the handbrake up. Just drop the clutch.
Crash it.
out of her driveway.
Yeah, but Mike, sorry, because you sent me a text saying what's going on with the podcast today, and then I just like put the phone up there, speaker, and I was like, "This woman, I've wasted all this time."
I loved it. We've all been there. We've all been there.
I'm getting angry thinking about it.
Whoa. Just breathe.
Have you had any of those kind of?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, it still happens today. You know, where you get people that say, you know, I want to sell the car, and America's a very big place, huge place. So when they say I want to sell the car, and then you travel for 5 hours, 4,000 miles to the other side of America, and you get there, stand in front of the car, you go, yeah, I think I want to buy this. I need to have a word with my husband. Yeah, but you advertised the car for $4,000. I'm giving you $4,000, and I can take it away now. Yeah, I still need to talk to my husband. Well, can you get him on the phone? What? Not really. Can't get him on the phone now. I can talk to him tomorrow. Yeah, but that means I have to stay overnight in a hotel or do so. And it's so frustrating. People can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
So these days, I tend to send somebody else in my stead.
There you go. Have you got mini Mike Brewers?
I've got little mini Mike Brewers.
I'll be one of them.
Yeah, you'd be great, actually.
I would, yeah.
You would. Now I'm making the show back here in the UK. I might actually dispose of you in certain areas around the UK and say, let's get Alex up there.
All I need is a leather jacket. There we go.
There is a cracking little Puma I want you to go and see. I bid the lady 550 quid for it the other day. She was going to get back to me, but she's got to drive it back to my place in Plymouth.
You, mate.
You green Michael Brewer.
Sir Michael Brewer. Anyway, Mike, I just wanted to talk to you quickly about Wheeler Dealers coming back. It's very exciting news. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, over the last 6 years, we've had such an adventure being in America. It's brilliant to do it. Me and Ed had that chance 6 years ago, and we jumped at it because we'd really been here, you know, by then, 13 years, we'd done so many cars from here. Plus, we've been doing American cars in each series. And there was such a draw from America. Come here, make a show here, make a show here. So we thought, well, let's go over and just knock some shows out. And when we got there, we didn't realise it would be as big as it was. And it just blew up. It just went crazy over in America. So much so that they sort of invented a whole network called, back then it was called Velocity, to house Wheeler Dealers and some other car shows. And we sort of created this whole sort of network of car enthusiasts and car geeks. And over the last 6 years, it's been brilliant, but there's always been that draw of when are you going to come back to England? When are you going to come back to England? And the audience are asking it over and over and over and over and over again. And it becomes grating after a while because, you know, the truth is, I loved it over there. You know, I was having a time of my life.
So the reason you come back is because the audience annoyed you so much.
There's a couple of reasons to come back. One is the audience did annoy me to come back. they just genuinely wanted the show back here. And I can see why. I feel that we've done as much adventuring as we can out there, and it does look like I'm on holiday, although it was work. My mum's not very well, so it's another reason for me to be back here. Plus, I've got other business here, and I've got other opportunities here to explore. So I missed you boys.
I was going to say, I missed you. That's top of their list.
And I just wanted to. I think it's about the right time to come back, and I think Wheeler Dealers has got a whole new brilliant future ahead of it. It's about, you know, it's not about us two idiots in the show. It's about the cars. We always say that. And I think it's got a great future because we're bringing Elvis into the workshop now. And Elvis
tell us about him.
Well, I mean, it's a mic drop moment, isn't it? If I could pick this up and drop it on the floor.
Please don't. This is like all our budget.
I know it's all your budget. But Elvis, you know, I worked with him on Dream Car. I've known him a little while. Elvis, his name isn't Elvis. He's got the most tenuous link to his name. It's ridiculous. His name's called Mark Priestley. But the kids at school thought it sounded like Presley, so they just called him Elvis. And he's always been called Elvis. Even his mum calls him Elvis. His wife calls him Elvis. Everyone calls him Elvis. So Elvis is wanted to be a mechanic since he left school. Always wanted to be a mechanic. So he went to work in the motorsports field, being a sports mechanic for teams like Caterham race teams and things like that, and progressed his way up through the ranks. And ended up taking Lewis Hamilton to his first Formula One World Championship.
Ooh, wow.
So you can't get any more skilled in your skill set as being a F1 mechanic. He did that for many years, was Kimi Räikkönen's mechanic for many years at McLaren. And once he finished that career, he went into a career of broadcasting. So he's one of the F1 pundits.
Oh, wow.
And he's just an all-round good guy. You know, he's very laid back. He knows his stuff. He's not fazed by anything. And when I did Dream Car with him, it was fascinating to test his skill set. Because, when I looked at what Ed can do and what Ant can do, they're both brilliant, amazing guys, but they got different skill sets. And Elvis has another skill set. So you can tackle the same jobs, but in different ways. And on Wheeler Dealers, we're probably the only car show in the world that's got away with changing brake pads and discs like you did on your Z3 40 times. But you haven't noticed it because each time we've done it in a different way. And we can do it all again in a different way because we've now got Elvis tackling the problems in a different way.
Putting F1 brakes on it.
And let's hope so. Let's hope so. I'm going to challenge him with a few cars. When I challenged him on Dream Car, you could see that I tried to push him outside his comfort zone a few times with a couple of builds. And I just couldn't, really. He just sort of wasn't fazed by anything. He sort of just got on with it. And I'm really excited by that because I think that means that we've got a whole new future for Wheeler Dealers.
Excellent.
And I think it's going to be really exciting. And Discovery Channel have really thrown everything behind it. They've asked for another 20 Wheeler Dealers, another 10 Dream Car. They want that repeated for the next 4 years. And so it looks like I'm going to be around for a little bit.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah,
very
nice.
excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And if you want anyone else doing your brake pads in a completely different way, then
yeah.
you've got Ethan's number, right?
got
whole
Ethan
new
now.
way.
Yes.
Guest.
Anyway, let's move quickly on to our first car story. And the strapline here is, I nearly chopped my legs off. It's going to be a good one. Hi, Alex, Jack, Ethan, and potential special guest. Not today. Quick story of a near miss I had whilst working on my 2007 Passat 3.2 V6. First of all, you got a Passat with a 3.2 V6. That is very cool, very rare.
Nice.
I had a faulty windscreen washer pump and determined not to pay the extortionate main dealer fees, I set about fixing this myself.
Good lad.
I was living in a flat in Battersea at the time and was working on the car on the side of the road. Oh, bad times.
Yeah, but he would have been standing on £50 notes if he's got a flat in Battersea.
Absolutely, yeah. I had the car jacked up on the front with the wheel off and was trying to yank out the inner wheel arch lining while sitting on the curb with my legs straight under the car. It wouldn't budge, and in frustration, I swiveled around to have a swig of tea and a quick rest. As I turned around, to my horror, I watched as the car lurched forward while the jack fell over and the car crashed to the ground. In a panic, I dropped my cup of tea, and now with the car resting on the brake disc, I quickly jacked it back up, checked it was in P, and threw the spare wheel under the front, and within a moment, it fell over again. Realising I shouldn't have put the wheel under the engine, I jacked it back up again, then spotted the handbrake wasn't on. Thanks to hardy German engineering, there was no lasting damage apart from my dignity. And what a lucky break. If it wasn't for my thirst for tea, I would have lost my legs. So the moral of the story here is, don't use a spindly spare wheel jack to work on a car, aka the Widowmaker.
Widowmaker.
Use axle stands, put the handbrake on, make sure it's in gear, put spare wheel in a safer place under the car, use chocks, and if in doubt, get a professional to do it. Safe to say, I have now bought all of the above and I'm very cautious when working underneath my car. Absolutely loving the podcast, guys. Keep up the good work. Will from Nottingham. Oh, lucky to have legs. You were about to bring something up, weren't you, about America and losing legs?
Yes, they got a thing out there, right? There's this whole culture called, and Google this, everyone out there, I urge you to Google it, swangers. SWANGERS.
Sounds
Swangers.
raunchy.
You know, like
Something we do on a
yeah,
Saturday
I know.
night,
So,
right?
let's go to the Swangers Club. Oh no, Swingers Club. But anyway, if we went to a Swangers Club, what we would discover, and there's ridiculous people driving along in their cars. And if you think of gladiators in their chariots, they had the swords that come off their hubs on their wheels. Well, basically, it's that. So they put these sort of, extensions to their wheels with their knock-off sort of spinners at the end. And they drive down the road legally. It's legal.
Unbelievable.
And if you drove past a bus stop full of people, you're just going to take their legs off, all of them. And I've seen them out there on trucks and cars, on bikes. I've seen them on everything. They are ridiculous. And I'm going to be honest, not to insult any American friends out there, but I don't live there anymore.
I have a feeling you're about to
So you
insult
can't shoot me anymore.
There's the first insult.
Yes, they look shit. I mean, they basically look shit. There's nothing nice about them at all. I urge you to Google them, and when you do, and you pull your jaw off the floor, tell these guys what you think of them in the posting of this, because they are ridiculous.
So when are we going to see the first swangers on Wheeler Dealers?
You're going to see the first swingers on Wheeler.
See it every time you put it on?
That's what I'm talking about.
Madness. How is that allowed?
That's
I don't
legal.
understand it. Like,
So can you imagine if you was driving next to another guy that's got swangers? And it's like kissing somebody with braces, and you got braces, and you just get tangled up together. It's like
That's something from Death Race.
Yeah.
dare I say, guys, nice car, but does it now make that nice car look like shit?
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
What is the car?
It's like an old caddy or something, isn't it?
right,
But it now looks like a piece of shit. Even you
Yeah,
would say.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
I mean, it's no jazz, is it?
No.
Where's the car seat go?
Oh, Jesus.
No?
No.
On the swangers.
Anyway, Will, thank you for your story. And it's a lesson to everyone. Work on your car properly. Do the correct steps. Don't use a Widowmaker jack. Get a proper, invest in a proper floor jack. Get yourself some axle stands. If Ethan can do it, anyone can. That's your new strapline.
Yeah.
We still need to get you a t-shirt made.
Okay, well,
But the main thing, Will, is thank you for that, because I think it's really good advice. But just never put your legs under a car. What are you doing, man? Especially when it's on. Why do you think when they have these lifts in workshops, they have a ka-junk, 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 ka-junk noise? That's because that's a safety catch to stop the ramp falling back down. So please, 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 never put your legs under a car.
it's I know how it feels, that feeling of going under a car for the first time. Because I did it this year with the Jazz service, and I really didn't want to go under.
Yeah, the beginning of the video, you're like, I'm not going under.
Oh, right. I didn't really trust myself with my jacking up skills. Glance it up.
The other skills are fine though.
You got that nailed down.
Yeah, no, we know that.
What about your jacking off skills? Are they on point?
They are second to none.
Slip us a fiver, Mike. You can find out.
You can actually buy these days for not a lot of money as well.
Are we
And
still going to talk about jacking off?
Well, I can. It is jacking. You
Swangers.
can buy, and I've seen them in the very cheap, big supermarket things, inflatable jacks.
Yeah.
And they're quite good, inflatable jacks.
I don't know if I trust an inflatable jack.
Well, if they go very
Don't
slowly.
knock-
So
don't
you have
knock it
got
till you
time. They don't just roll off, do they? They just.
Yeah, but what if you've got a knife in your pocket?
Joe, why are you going to have a knife in your pocket?
Well, what if your career is mugging people?
What? And you've got a puncher and you need to change it really quickly.
Well, you need to service your car. You've just mugged someone.
I always prang out about this, and I'm always as careful as I can. In the yard for a little while, we had a forklift there, so whenever I jack a car up, I always just drive the forklift up to it and just have the forks underneath.
Oh,
I was
clever.
changing drive shafts on one of those classic Range Rovers, and I was like, if this thing comes down, this is going to be really, really bad news.
That's going to hurt, yeah.
yeah. So I made sure the forklift was in place there with two massive blocks of wood as well on the axles. I was like, this is not touching the ground while I'm under it. But you've got to be so careful, like the guys say.
Yeah.
And buy all those things before you start buying things for your car.
That's
right.
Good,
yeah.
good advice. God, look at you, the
Car
oracle.
guy.
He lived in Battersea, though. His name's Will. He could have been saved by Jude Law and Sadie Frost if it all went wrong.
Absolutely. Mike, you told us a funny story that you had something you read out on your
So
phone.
this is.
I want to bring this up because it's really, really good.
I know it's good. This is like why men shouldn't be agony aunts, really, because
That's the whole podcast.
it is. Well, we shouldn't be agony aunts, should we, us guys? You know, we
Should we close the laptops and call it?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yes, it's been good, guys.
Dear John, dear John, I hope you can help me. The other day I was setting off for work, leaving my husband in the house watching TV. My car stalled. And then it broke down a mile down the road, and I had to walk back to my husband to get help. When I got home, I couldn't believe my eyes. He was in the bedroom with our neighbour's daughter. I'm 32, my husband is 34, my neighbour's daughter is 19. We've been married for 10 years. When I confronted him, he broke down and admitted they'd been having an affair for 6 months. He won't go to counselling, and I'm afraid I'm a wreck. I'm going to need advice urgently. Can you help? Sincerely, Sheila.
Oh, she's had a mare.
She has had a man.
What a day.
Dear Sheila, a car stalling after being driven a short distance can be caused by a variety of faults with the engine. Start by checking that there's no debris in the
Oh, this is
fuel line.
amazing.
If it's clear, check the vacuum pipes and the hoses and the intact manifold. Also check for grounding wires. If none of these approaches solves your problem, it could be the fuel pump itself could be faulty, causing low delivery pressure in the injectors. Hope this helps. John.
Oh, that's so good. Where did you read that?
It's online, isn't it? It's an agony arm. Dear Deirdre.
That's amazing. That is such good advice, isn't it?
Kick in the teeth.
I mean, maybe she was just, just painting a bit of a picture.
Oh, no, yeah, sure.
And maybe she was
Yeah.
asking advice about the car.
Yes.
She's not bothered about the affair.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. Right, Ethan.
I don't know.
What about last night? Did that mean nothing to you?
Yeah, you don't count.
I'm
You
just one of your
boys,
side
I
viewers.
tell you. Boy, it's all getting very metrosexual here.
Get hot there.
It's the temperature's just increased up a little bit.
All right, before we all burst at the seams, let's move on to one of my favourite sections, Grinds My Gears. This is sent in by Cam and Jack. Do you want to read it out?
I'll read it out. Hi, Ethan, Jack, and Alex. Oh, no,
And Mike,
and Mike. There we go. I'm loving the
The cod piece.
piece. I'm loving the podcast, especially throughout this pandemic, as they are great for listening to when working at home. A thing that really grinds my gears is more relevant at this time of year as it gets dark around 4 p.m. is LED headlights. More specifically, SUVs. When coming towards you, they are far too bright and it feels as though the other driver has their full beams on, which is really off-putting. I'll be interested in knowing your guys' and other listeners' opinions on this. Once again, thanks for the great content during lockdown. Many thanks, Cam.
Have you got an issue with LED headlights?
As you know, I just arrived in my. I just arrived.
No, please carry on.
You're the guy blinding Cam.
I'm sorry. I get to him for doing that. I get what he means. Nowadays, cars look like discos driving down the road, don't they, with their twinkly headlights on the front. Some more than others, and some manufacturers have just gone a bit overboard with their day running, night running lights. And I do get what you mean, especially on SUVs on these dark, dank nights. It doesn't really matter in the summer so much, but on these dark, dank nights, coming back here, I really notice it because obviously everyone drives with their headlights on from 4 o'clock here, where they don't in America. So I have noticed it.
Yeah.
And I'm also a cause of it.
Yeah. But you are in a lower car, right? Can I say what car it is?
Yeah, I'm in a Porsche Taycan. Is it Taycan? Taycan? I don't know.
Toucan.
Toucan. It's Porsche Toucan, mate. Way up, bastard. I drive me a
How
Porsche
about,
Toucan.
how about Tin Can?
Tin Can.
Ah, nice, yeah, we'll go with
Porsche
that.
Tin Can.
Well, let's hope it isn't. 2 years when you've got loads of rust issues.
Yeah. and there's you on my doorstep going, go on, I'll give you 650 quid for it. Can you drive it back to Plymouth?
Before I get to say hand, oh, no, you punch
And
me
I'll
in
have
the
to
face.
say, hold on, I've got to talk to my wife about it. What?
And then again, I'll say, you, mate.
You can say you as many times as you like. Alex.
Can we
You know,
watch the bleeps? I've got to bleep all these at the edit.
You do not. I do the
You in the edit.
I do the bleeps. How dare you take credit
You
for
put
that?
a marker down.
And then all you do
Don't
is
you talk
Yeah.
Say, what have I done?
One thing I do like about these LED lights is when I've been driving press cars and I've just got like low beams on and it's really bright and someone coming the other way assumes I've got high beam on and they flash me. You're like, no, actually, no, mate. You, there's my high beam. Just to show I'm like, no, shut up.
Do you know the podcast van we've got?
Yeah.
You know, it's got the massive LED bar at the top. When you put the high beams on, it's all wired into the high
Is
beam.
it?
No way.
And it is the brightest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Shit.
Like, it's so bright you can't see anything.
Reports of UFOs around here.
I like drive down and I just see trees and flowers just wilting.
Oh, you should go to a goth convention in that.
Yeah.
Put the lights on. Watch them all just melt.
Yeah, anyway, LEDs on SUVs. It happened to me. I was actually in the Karoq, our long-termer, and there was something behind us, a disco or something, and it was just like, flashing away. And I think also there's an issue when there's people in the back, it raises the...
Yeah, but
the
they
front.
should have levelers. in
Yeah,
the car
but
that
it wasn't
sorts
working
that-
on this one. And Rianne, my girlfriend, was saying, is he flashing us or what? And he was behind me, like maintaining the same speed. I had to speed up. I had to break the law so I could get away from him. I did 71 in a 30.
I have had that before when I've been driving along on a bumpy road and someone behind me and they're doing is going over a bump, and I'm like, why is he flashing? Like, stop it!
That's really bad for motorbikes because the suspension is super hard on motorbikes as well. And I worry when I'm on a motorbike at night if people think I'm flashing them, if they brake check me because they think I'm annoying them.
Yeah.
Because they could really me.
Yeah.
Keep your distance, then.
I've experienced some real genuine road rage that's hilariously funny.
Oh, go on.
So this guy was behind, it was Hampton Court on that single stretch of road down by Hampton Court and the River Thames. And I'm driving behind this guy in a Type 2 van and it's chugging out all kinds of crap out the exhaust pipe. I mean, it was just nasty to be behind, stuck on this single carriageway, 50 miles an hour either way. But he's doing 30. And I was with Michelle, and we're chugging along behind him, and there was a break on the other side of the road, and there's a break in the road, so it's legal for me to overtake him and get back in. So I thought I'm going to get past him, so I overtook and got back in. And when I did, he's hit the high beam, giving it the full. You giving it all of this, and I just thought, sod you, finger out the window, and I drove off. And then when you get to the end of that road, you turn left and there's a roundabout there. And it was a big roundabout with lots of cars around it. And I just stopped in the traffic and I noticed that the Type 2 pulled up behind me. And I said to Michelle, this Type 2's behind me. And the guy got out and he walked up. And I went, he's got out and walked up. Now the cars in front of me are gone. So there's a gap. So he's come up beside me and he's smacking on the window again. Get out of the car, get out of the car. How dare you? And I wound the window down that much. And I said, I didn't want to sit behind that shitty thing of yours any longer. And he went, F you. And he took a step back to kick my car. What? Took a step back. And as he did that, I hard accelerated away. And he just kicked thin air. He spun round in the air and fell on his arse. It was just brilliant. It was like if you could have just seen that. And there were other cars, I'm pretty sure in my head, there were other cars around me that see that and laughed. Because I just couldn't believe how ridiculous it was. He just kicked hard thin air.
What car were you in at the time?
I was in my S-Max. So I've got a Ford S-Max that I was driving, which has also got auto dip and beam on it, which is quite good. That car, when I overtook him, at the time that was a 2.2 litre TDCi, 210 brake horsepower.
Quite pokey, that.
Pokey, yeah. Diesel. If I'm sat behind him and I want to overtake him legally, I can go from 30 to 50 and back in again in a heartbeat. So why that pissed him off so much, I don't know. But it resulted in him kicking thin air and landing on his arse and causing a little traffic jam.
Which is a little bit unfortunate because surely a kick to the S-Max would have improved it.
That's terrible. Sorry, Ford. Sorry, Ford, for that's your last ever full press car. God almighty.
Well, do they do the S-Max anymore?
No, that's the last ever edition of the S-Max. I've
Because
got
it
one.
was
It's
so
the ST.
ugly.
No, it's not. It's a
It's an
coupe
ugly
SUV.
It's an ugly car.
No, it's not. What is good looking in that range then?
Right,
Exactly.
moving on.
Got you there.
What, in the SUV range?
Yeah.
Karoq.
Correct. It's angular. I don't know if it's good looking. The
See?
Aston Martin DBX.
You're talking £250,000 rather than 30 grand.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that there were parameters in which I had to remain. Anyway, shall we move it on? We have an unpopular opinion, and this is going to be quite interesting because we're going to talk a little bit about motorbikes. I just want to hear Mike. Really?
Motorbikes, yeah.
Wow, this is amazing.
Look over your shoulder.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I've never seen you ride.
I would ride that.
I would ride that.
I would ride that.
When you
rather
first
than a
turned up here, I rode it around here, didn't I?
No, it's never worked.
Oh, I can get it working. Try a little motor compo, I can get that working.
Well,
I've ridden that around.
Like right now.
Six-
After the podcast.
60-second challenge.
That's
Probably right
great.
now. It's probably not started for about 2 years, but there you go.
All right, okay.
Wicked little thing.
I want to try. Anyway, this is from Jamie, and the title is Bike and Van. Ethan, do you want to read it out?
Hello, Gareth, Jack, and the other two.
Oh, Gareth isn't here today because
So
Mike's stolen his mic.
Yes. Sorry, Gareth.
Hello, Mike, Jack, and the other two.
Gareth just went to resign. That's right. Genuinely.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Gareth's gotten to have a meeting
Yeah.
to discuss his P60.
Yeah. P45s
About where to post it.
Exactly. That's a funny way to ask for your P60, Gareth.
Well, he's actually having a meeting right now, so we don't actually know if it's gone well or gone badly.
Let's say it went well.
Yeah. Well done, Gareth. Congrats.
Yeah. Gareth, next week, just nice. I want it. I want the French fries done really crispy. I'd like the burger flipped on both sides. And keep working your way up, and you'll get that start. You'll be on the milkshake machine next.
And it's not a milkshake you're thinking of.
Why was he thinking of?
It's the Mike shake.
Nice.
Oh, we don't want one of them.
Well, this one's going west, isn't it? This podcast.
It's gone really badly so quickly.
Hello, Mike, Jack, and the other two.
Hi.
In your recent podcast, I think you went a little off track.
Rude.
The pinnacle of automotive ownership isn't a bike and an SUV, it's a bike and a van.
Oh, contro.
Okay. A bike for getting places fast by filtering and accelerating fast, having fun, looking amazing. A van for getting yourself and all your shit anywhere. You can pile people in the back, and if they want, they can bring their own seats for comfort. Sleeping in it wherever you want. A car is just a lame compromise between a van and a bike. Cheers. Jamie, ex-car owner, now proud owner of a van and a bike.
Jamie, I think you're onto something.
I do. I agree.
I can't get in with the van. I'm there with the van, but the bike, no, I'm not on board with that.
Well, you will be soon. Yeah, Mike, we're getting him a CBT with
Ah,
him.
please. Seriously, guys, once you get a bike license,
Here we go.
Changes your life. Changes your life.
Why does everyone keep saying this?
It does, because, it's not all about being out there on slippery roads and whatever and buses pulling out on you. That does happen, but it's not, it's not about that. But having a motorbike gives you a sense of freedom, and it's a sense of control you don't get with a car. It's as exciting as driving a Ferrari, being on a good bike. It can be as exciting. And dare I say, he's absolutely right. Traffic becomes a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Traffic just fades into... Do you live in London, you guys?
I'm
Not
outside.
anymore. No.
No, but if you're going into the city or going into town, if I still had the option today, I would pull up at the edge of the city, jump on a motorbike and go in on a bike. It's so much easier. And it's thrilling. It is thrilling.
It is so much fun.
Except you can look a pillock if you go and buy all the stupid stuff that goes with it, which a lot of people do.
Do you have you've obviously got a motorbike license.
Oh, yeah. I've had a motorbike license for... decades, dare I say. Sorry, I am that old. I presented and hosted the TT for 4 years.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I've
Did
been
you?
round a TT course on the back of super bikes 100 times.
Jesus. Wow.
And I've competed, quickly on the
Really?
on the TT course. Yeah,
Do
I'm
you-
a proper
do you-
knee down boy.
yeah.
I went to the Ron Haslam.
I've done that too.
I went to
Yeah,
the Ron
yeah.
Haslam school. Got me old skiddies done. Broke the duck. Got me skiddies done. It was good.
I don't know what that means, but yeah,
Well,
I've
I was-
also
Everywhere.
Well, no, you go out with these knee pads, and
Oh, I see
and
what
they're
you mean.
brand new. When you buy them, they're like nylon sort of knee pads. So you buy them, and they're new. And when you turn up, there's everyone looking at each other's knee pads to see who's had their knee down. And then you can't wait. I mean, some people are on the side just rubbing it against it, and just trying to scratch them in. But no, I went out and Alex will tell you, and it's the one life-changing thing that anyone's ever told me. It's called counter steering, which is the oddest thing in the world, but you basically push left to go right or push right to go left. And it's called counter steering. And when you're on a super bike or a motorbike in a proper setting where you've got safety and you're going into a corner and you're pushing left, but you're actually tipping the bike down right. And when that happens for the first time and your brain lets it sink in, it's gobsmacking. It's like, oh my God, this is life-changing.
What's your leaning?
Well, think about it.
You're
Think
leaning
about
right.
it. Now push on that now push on that handlebar. And what happens?
I'm going up there.
No. So you're on the bike, you're leaning over, and you've just, when I say counter steering, I mean, I'm talking you're putting a cigarette paper's worth of pressure on that right hand. So you're just doing that on the right hand. And what that's doing is it's just leaning the bike down further into the corner.
You've got all of this together.
It's kind of mind-blowing. When it happens,
I
it's
don't
mind-blowing.
think it's for me.
you won't learn this in your CBT, don't
Okay.
worry.
Oh, I'm
in your
disappointed
CBT,
now.
it's just like getting off the bike, walking around in the circle, starting it and showing him where the indicators are.
Like
That's
Chris Harris said, just do it, wobble about a little bit in an industrial state, and just get a feel.
That's
for it.
not going to shut you up, though. I know what's going to happen. We'll do the Jack. Let's
Well, then
not
why?
be
Well, then
suckered
why?
into
Well, then
this.
why are you saying no, no, no? If you know it's
You
gonna
won't be
happen?
happy until we win MotoGP.
Think about next year, right? We all meet up. We've all got our own little motorbikes. We can have like
that's
little. You can
quite
have
cool.
like little 125s. It doesn't matter.
Should we meet at the Ace Cafe?
And then we could all go to
not
the
the
Ace
Ace
Cafe.
No, not the
or
Ace
we
Cafe,
could go
no.
to
Or Cafe the Machine.
you know, we
Loomies.
could
There's
all
a place
go-
called Loomies, which is really good.
Yeah, or Cafe the Machine. We could all just turn up on our bikes, just have a bit of a laugh together.
That does sound.
Like
sound all
say
right.
it, say it.
Yes.
You've done this as well. You
No,
with
no.
Tour de France.
All right, next year it's going to happen.
I love
And then
how
we'll go for a
every
little bike
pro
meet.
argument for a bike, there's always a but in there. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's good, but it has its downsides as well. There's no one said, "Oh, it's just so good." There's nothing ever goes wrong with the bike.
Yeah, but you say that about driving.
No,
it's
no.
good. It's good, but you get stuck in traffic.
I like traffic.
Listen, I've never used my, my position in television for profit or gain ever, and I know that we all like to get stuff, sent to us every now and then. Like,
Don't know what you mean. Don't know what you mean.
He loves it. He loves it, and no doubt you've got your exhaust system or something come to you.
He's got
but
everything.
If any bike shop out there wants a little bit of me, I'd love a Triumph Bobber just for a little while. I'd love to have a little Triumph Bobber. So if you've got a Triumph Bobber out there and you're looking to get me on it,
I've actually
happen
got
for Mike.
good relationship with Triumph.
have you?
I'll speak to a guy called Dean.
Hello, Dean. I love you, Dean. Dean, just send me a bobber. That's all I'm asking.
Dean, hook Mike up. Otherwise, the Triumph stuff that we're doing together, done.
It's done.
Alex, love you. Yeah, we're not allowed to do that anymore. No.
We're not allowed to fist on camera.
So Vans.
Vans, yeah, vans are great. I love vans.
Men
as
in
well.
Van.
But do you know the problem is with a van, and I'm pretty sure he could tell you this, it's the same as if you, if you have a swimming pool, a van, or a pickup truck, you end up with a load of mates you never knew you had. Always be warned of that. Vans are great, but as soon as you get a van, all right, Ethan, understand you got a van. I've got a sofa needs moving. Can I borrow it? It just never stops. So that's the danger of owning a van.
So
Everyone
that's
knows
the only downside of owning a van. You have too many friends.
You do.
Too many friends.
Too many friends you've not heard from, except because you've got a van.
Yeah.
Until the last time you had a van.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Anyway, Jamie, thank you very much for that compelling argument. I think we're all pretty much on the same page.
I agree with
Agree.
50% of it.
I find it really interesting, Mike, that you're so into bikes because I thought just wheeler dealers. I know you from wheeler dealers, trading up, blah 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 blah.
No.
Never seen you on a bike.
Oh, I've had loads of. I've been on bikes on TV.
Never seen
Deals
it.
on Wheels. I bought bikes. I had a RDLC 350. On
He's
deals-
making up numbers and words now, isn't he?
Yeah, me Yamaha RDLC 350, liquid cooled one. I had one of those. That was an amazing bike.
My LPV 350.
On trading up, I've bought and sold Vespas in Italy, and I know some people would argue that's not even a motorbike, but it is to me. I've had loads of motorbikes, tons of motorbikes. But I'm going to say it again. One of my favourite ever bikes I've ever owned. I had two bikes that I regret selling. One of them was a little NC30. It was a Honda 400 VFR. Oh my God, that bike was just unbelievable. Single swing arm, just crazy bike. And the second one was I had the Triumph Bonneville Thruxton 900 special edition one, like a little cafe racer. That was a few years ago. And I just love that bike so much. God, I genuinely going to tell Dean this. The day the guy from Triumph turned up at my house to take it away, I swear to God, I cried. I cried. I actually literally stood
Was
there.
this before or after opening your electric gates?
This was as he left my mansion. As he left my mansion, and I turned round and trod on a pile of cash. I had a little cry.
Or, as you call it, toilet paper.
I did. I had a little weep because that is they're astonishing bikes. And I've always been a bike guy. I love bikes, and I've got off of them recently because when you get to my age, you become aware of your self and mortality, and you tend to switch into survival mode. But
You're not selling bikes here, Mike.
No,
Back it up. Back it up.
But just recently, I've started to go, do you know what? No, life is for living.
Yeah.
I want to live my life. My daughter's now grown up. My life is for living. I want to live my life a little bit. So I'd like to get myself on a bobber.
So if I can sort that out, then
We go biking
You
together.
promise that we'll go for a little bike with Gareth as
Absolutely.
well.
Not promise we go for a little bike. We will become bike buddies.
Oh, we'll become
we
like
are
a really-
broke back. Me and you.
Oh, yeah.
Couple of camping, couple of sleeping bags.
Oh, bike friends. Oh.
Yeah. Next year,
you'll be
guys.
there. Right then, let's now move it on to one of my favourite parts of the show, Grinds My Gears from Ben and Mike. Do you want to do one, mate?
I'll do one.
Yeah, do one, eh?
I'll
Go on,
I'll
mate. Go on, mate.
It's just from Ben, is it?
Hello, Ben.
All right, Ben. Hi, Ethan, Alex, Jack, and Mike. Thank you very much, Ben.
I put that
I'm
in.
writing to explain the incredibly petty thing that really grinds my gears. I'm curious to see whether any of you agree if I need to grow up. Now, for the indiscretion that gets me when you're waiting at a junction to pull out, or even a pedestrian waiting to cross the road, or someone stops the car to let you go. Now, this in itself is a nice gesture that's always appreciated, but written in capitals, I see, which I read as angry. But when the person decides that instead of just being a normal human and raising their hand, giving you a thumbs up or even a flash of their lights, they wave their hand in a sort of shoo-in motion. Why this would get you, I don't know. It's a little thing to me, but it comes across as rude and choppy. Oh. That makes we cross the road slower out of spite. That's meant to be me or we. Thanks for reading. I've been loving the podcast so far. Ben Ripley.
Oh,
Actually,
thank you, Ben.
thinking about it, that actually does annoy me when you see someone in the car and they do like a hurry up.
Yeah. You're wasting my time.
Yeah.
Even though you're at a zebra crossing.
Yeah. Well, it's like either just let me go and be nice about it, or just you carry
Or
on.
run me over.
Yeah, I'll go after you, Ben. But no, actually, I do agree with Ben there.
You do?
Yeah.
I think it's a generational thing. I am always courteous and polite. Either if I'm in the car, I'm always, that's not me shooing them up. I'm saying,
Like the Queen.
take your time. Take your time.
Yes.
Or if I'm crossing, I will always thank the person when I'm crossing.
Yes.
In fact,
Definitely.
if somebody doesn't thank me, I find it rather
I
irritating.
get really angry,
Yeah.
especially people like crossing zebra crossings. I'm slowing my motor vehicle down. I'm wasting my fuel. You're wasting my time. And they don't thank me. Like, I make a point of saying thank you because I think it's courteous. And when they don't, like you, Mike, I just get angry. I'm like, it doesn't take a lot just to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Do you ever, if you let someone come through, if it's tight on the road, and they don't thank you, do you ever just go, "You're welcome"?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got
I do that all
I've
the time.
got the habit of just a gesture of one finger up. Because that's powerful, like so little effort into it. Just an acknowledgement.
the bare minimum.
Yeah. Do you know what, I've actually got a funny story about zebra crossings when I was doing some stuff for WTF1 in Azerbaijan for the F1, and out there roads are pretty crazy, and the zebra crossings are even crazier because the drivers, they won't stop unless, like here, if you see someone approaching, you stop, right? There they don't. You have to be on the crossing to stop. And we were at this really busy road and it was like 4 lanes wide. And me and the rest of the crew like stood there like waiting to cross over. We're like trying to pick a moment and all these cars like speeding towards us and we're like getting freaked out. Probably been there for like 2 minutes or something. And then this little old lady just like bowled past us, stepped into the road and there's cars coming and they slam on the brakes to the point where they're screeching and turning sideways and stuff. And this little old lady, she made us look such mugs. It's just like, no fear of death.
Also, she's got the benefit of I'm old. I'm going to go soon anyway. Might as well chance it.
I'll tell you what grinds my gears is today when people are either got their AirPods in or they're staring at their phone, they just step out on the road. They're not looking left or right. And me and my wife moan about it constantly. Me and Michelle, oh, look at that person, just done it again. Whether it's happening to us or we see it happening to other people around us, I just think road safety has become, phones has killed it. People going down the road doing this and stepping out in front of you. It's ridiculous.
And a lot of people, when they go to cross a road, maybe at a T-junction, they look for cars coming down there and they never check behind them. And you could be turning left. And there. So many people don't do that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Think about what it's like on a motorbike.
I don't have to.
Oh, you will. You will soon.
I'll never know.
But you will. What, are you going to die this year? Still?
By the way,
Doing it next year?
riding a motorcycle will make you a much better car driver.
Yes.
I've had that.
That
one.
appeals to me. That does appeal to me.
It does make you much better. And
you need a lot
And
of
you
help,
really start appreciating other road users. You start to think, that's how I should be behaving on the road because that happened to me on a motorbike and I'm never going to let that happen to, that's how I should be behaving when I drive.
I'm a perfect driver.
Going a little bit off topic, Mike, I want to pick your brain about something we haven't spoken about. The recent news banning petrol and diesel engine cars by 2030. What does that mean for the industry? What does that mean for the used car market, in your opinion?
Well, it's new cars. So it's very important it's new cars. So there'll still be petrol and diesel cars after 2030. It's just how long we can make them last.
Yeah.
We'll all be fighting for that last gallon of fuel. I'm going to go and buy myself a black Dodge Charger with a big supercharger in the front of it. Got myself a black leather jacket. I'm going to get a big oil tank. Mad Max is coming. You know,
I've actually seen that jacket in Primark.
Yes. we're all going to be fighting over that last gallon of fuel.
You're going to use it up for everyone else.
Yes.
We need to collectively just sip it. Just make it last.
He's got 1,000 litre vats in his mansion, just storing it up.
I'm first and foremost, an utter petrol head, right? First and foremost. But it's news that is unavoidable. It's coming. It was always coming. We can't escape it. What will happen is, in terms of the classic car market and the cars that we love, nothing to change. It'll just become more of a luxury item. So I'll still be able to drive my Lotus Cortina. It's just that I'll be paying £10 for petrol rather than a £5 for petrol.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be just that. It'd become a luxury item. And we'll be able to drive those cars for as long as the fuel, lasts, or as long as the cars last, because there's no ban on the sale of petrol or diesel. It's the ban on selling new cars. What it's going to do for the second-hand car market, though, is it's going to dramatically affect it within the next 5 years. So nobody in 5 years' time is going to really be looking to buying a petrol or diesel car if their life cycle with a car is 10 years, because they're going to be worried about its resale value.
Yeah.
And that's going to have a dramatic effect on cars. And lots of manufacturers out there, some of them I've already spoken to, are doing a lot of head scratching at the moment with that announcement, because the announcement is only in the UK so far.
Yeah.
So it's not a European-wide or a global announcement. And there's another little bit of me that thinks maybe it'll go away, because what difference is this tiny little island going to make when nobody else does anything about it? It'd be a tiny little impact in the CO2
it's a start,
emissions.
though, right?
It is a start. Somebody has to make the start, but can't it be the funky Swedes or can't the Belgians do it? People that don't like cars.
The Swedes have got the most amount of electric cars.
They
per
have.
capita, don't
So
they?
let them do it.
There you go, Sweden.
Yeah,
Man
there you
up.
go.
Take it away from
Take
us.
it away.
We don't want it.
It's this little side of me that says it's sort of welcome news, because we have to make a change. The planet has to change, and we have to make a change. And whether it's my generation that's made a mess of it, and we're passing that mess down to your generation, and then inevitably your generation are going to make a mess of it and pass it down to the next one. But your generation at the moment are actually trying to repair it. And I think that's not a bad thing, in the grand scheme of, if it means that I have to give up my 911 or my Lotus Cortina, and I can stare at them rather than drive them, and I can save the planet at the same time, I think I'll go for that.
Would you ever put an electric motor in either of those cars?
I have put electric motors in classic cars before. And I wouldn't say I would not do it again. I did it on the Maserati Bi-Turbo. Me and Ed did it, and it was a real success. I would say that I probably would do it again, yeah. I wouldn't do it. You couldn't do it to a Lotus Cortina, because the part of Lotus Cortina is the Lotus part, which is the engine. You could do it to something like a 911. They tend to be really good electric cars, 911s. They tend to really work.
Actually, because this is something I wanted to speak to you guys about. I would be interested in looking at this down the line, if we can do that.
Electrification of the car.
Yeah,
Be
just
great.
something about it. So yeah, so maybe if people want to see that, let us know.
Should we buy the shittest car to do it?
Should we do it on film?
I will tell you, first and foremost, they will need a sponsor,
Yeah.
because electrifying a classic car or any car is very expensive.
We're going to
At
do
the
it with Mike Brewer Motors.
Yeah, you can do that. You'll be looking just for a conversion today, a minimum, I would have thought 25 grand.
Really?
Yeah, anywhere between 25 and 40 grand to convert a car to electric.
Okay. Can we do it on like 3? Might struggle.
Yeah, can we do it on 3, but we'll settle for 1? How about that?
Well, you have to think it's a car that you're not going to keep. You're going to have to sell it at the end. So it might be worth This is an even better idea. If there's somebody out there that's thinking of electrifying their classic car or their car, maybe come and see these boys and they can go through the process with you if you're paying for it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting. I'd join in as well. I'd love to. I'd love to help.
Yeah.
I'd love to help.
That'd be really good. That's
And we get to pick the car and then keep it at the end.
Well, that would be nice. That would be nice.
very enlightening. Anyway, that now concludes the Car Throttle podcast. I hope you've enjoyed listening to other people's stories and us ranting on, and hopefully it's going to inspire you guys to email us your tales, unpopular opinions, and anything you want to get off your chest. Let us know by emailing carstories@carthrottle.com. As for us, you can find Mike on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, TV.
That's where he lives.
Or Instagram at Mike Brewer. You can find me on Instagram at AutoAlex.
I'm at Jack W. Joy.
I'm at Ethan Smale, and you can follow Car Throttle at Car Throttle everywhere. Maybe Bing this week?
Bing.
Yeah. Did you get profiles on Bing?
I don't know. No, I grew up with an abacus, mate. Mike doesn't know what.
Following me on my abacus.
They can find me on MySpace.
Yeah.
Very good.
If we're talking Bing.
Did you have MySpace?
Or dare I say, anyone out there who wants to join my new social media network, which I've created, it's going to be big, my new social media network. I'm just waiting I'm going to sign you up today when we finished here.
Is it a rival to Grindr?
No, it's a rival to Facebook, actually.
Whoa.
Is this true?
Yeah, it's true.
it?
I've launched it today.
it called
You're going to be
Bookface?
it's called Sit on my Facebook.
Oh,
Hey, nice.
I've read the whole chapter.
Hold on! Has he still got a job?
Hello, Gareth. No.
Yeah, he's still got a job. You were a part of the podcast earlier. We thought you was going to hand in your notice.
Anyway, before we say goodbye, one more thing. Jack, have you got a joke for us? To play us out.
Should we see if Mike's got a joke? Is he
Okay.
guest on?
Do you have any funny jokes that are kind of PG-ish?
Oh, actually, we mentioned
Yeah,
Sweden.
I've got
I've got
one.
a Swedish joke.
I've got a car joke.
All right, Swedish joke and then car
Okay.
joke. Yeah.
What's the best thing about Sweden?
What?
I don't know, but the flag's a big plus.
Oh, that took you a few seconds.
It did. I like it. My joke's a little bit longer than that, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Does it need to be quick?
No, no,
'Cause
no,
I've
no,
got
no,
a quick
no.
one. A guy pulls into a golf club car park and there's in his Rolls Royce that he's just picked up from a Rolls Royce dealer, drives him. And he's really happy that his Rolls Royce has got everything. And he pulls up to a guy in a mini Metro Van Pla. Do you know what one of those is?
Definitely.
So the mini Metro Van Pla is the top of the range mini Metro. Think of a mini Metro that's crap, that you put more crap on. It's that car. So he pulls in his Rolls Royce and he goes, oh, look, there's somebody getting their golf clubs out of that mini Metro. So he drives up next to him. He goes, you there, you man, you man. And he goes, yeah, what's up? He goes, have a look at my Rolls Royce. I've just picked this up from a dealer. This vehicle has got electronic seats. They go backwards and forwards. And the guy in the Metro says, well, my mini Metros have got a lever. I pull it and the seat goes backwards and forwards. And he went, yes, but does your car have a walnut dashboard? And he goes, no, but mine's got like a plastic fake wood dashboard. It feels all right. And he says, yes, but my car's got lambswool rugs. And he says, well, my car's just got like mats, but they sort of work just the same. But I'll tell you one thing my Metro does do that I'm really impressed with. If I roll back the two front seats, sort of turns it into a bed inside. It's really nice. Does your Rolls Royce do that? No, off. Drives off, goes straight back to the dealership, says, I've just been to the golf club car park. I've just been upset by some little prick. And his mini Metro, his bloody things folds into a double bed. Why isn't mine a double bed? I want a double bed. So the Rolls Royce dealer says, all right, calm down, sir. We'll turn it into a double bed for you. So they convert his seats, so they roll down into a double bed. He goes back to the golf club car park and prowls around it looking for the guy in the Metro. And he sees the Metro in the corner of the car park with all the windows steamed up and it's bouncing.
Oh.
There he is, the little shit. Let's go and show him my Rolls Royce has got a double bed. So he pulls up next to it, winds down his electric window, leans across, taps on the glass of the Metro again. Come on, open up, young man, open up. I want to show you my Rolls Royce. And the guy in the Metro opens the window, this big. And he goes, what do you want? And he said, come and have a look. My Rolls Royce has now got a double bed inside. And the guy in the Metro says, you got me out the shower to tell me that?
very good. What a great way to end this podcast. Thank you very much, Mike, for being a guest. And I think everyone will join me in saying that we hope that your mum gets better soon.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So thanks very much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.
Happy Christmas!
Happy Christmas. Oh, God, we're there, aren't we?
We are there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.